I just want to, I think I had the wrong tab up, so I wasn't sure. And we got that song that we got to play for everybody.
Oh,
So
yes.
we
Yes.
got to make. I had to make sure I was in the right spot there.
As you
Captain
guys can
Kirk.
see, I was in charge of my own technical things this morning. So I'm actually speaking from the laptop. I actually got a really fancy wireless headset that doesn't work. So I'm stealing my son's gaming headset until he comes home. But as you guys can see, so Mr. Mo got my shelving up. That is actually light up. So uh, by tonight for the pre-game and everything else, I should look like semi-professional. Now, don't let that confuse you because I spent nearly an hour looking for a plug to plug into the butthole of my computer in order to get the internet going. But apparently my laptop doesn't have a butthole.
It's a androgynous laptop. Oh my gosh.
And Shizzy's over here trying to help me figure out how to get things going, and we're like doing the Taylor Swift like because I can't hear him, but he can hear me, so he's hearing my ever increasing anxiety and like panic attack.
I can hear in the background. Well, shit balls. Damn it. Just like, why isn't this working?
Pretty much. I was like, son of a whore. I can't be asked to do this. I'm the talent, not the help.
Oh, and of course she can't hear me just rolling on the floor laughing over here, which is probably a good thing because it would have just made it even worse for her.
Yeah, because Shizzy's over here like, did you check the settings? And I'm like, I sort of do know how to do this job, like kind of a little bit. But apparently it was drivers or driving Miss Daisy. I don't know.
But yeah, she basically shut down the computer, restarted it, and it synced up. So she's good now. Chris Mo wears gay men headphones, then mentions computer butt plugs. What's going on?
Well, only the best for Fridays. That's what's going on.
well, and this is pretty interesting, Mo. That you being like all the YouTube and everything that you're having difficulties. It just shows you that even the best of us over it.
Oh yeah, yes. I pride myself on my technical acuity. It's what I put first on my LinkedIn profile.
I thought that was on your OnlyFans page. Mo.
I was wondering why I was getting recruitment from my OnlyFans page and weird blocks from my LinkedIn. Always make sure where you're sending your uplinks to.
Oh my gosh, sounds like Tug and getting pizza out of the oven without mitts last night before the stream. Yeah.
Oh no, poor guy. I have done that before. And you're like, how stupid am I?
Well,
you become your own father where you're disappointed. Like, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed in you, self. How could you let me down so much?
Shame on self.
Oh, also, because YouTube is a-hole, and I was like I was in awe of my technical skills, but I made this. If you are a lurker, YouTube has decided you don't matter. But in Mo's church, in Mo's house, you matter. You are my twin flame, and this is for you.
Snark loves a lurker. We see you all the same. Lurkers unite. You're the silent delight. Watching in shadows, but still in the fight. No chat, no shame. You still boost the game. Snark loves a lurker. We see you all the same.
Yes.
Yeah. I was feeling subversive. I'm telling you, this is how Skynet gets me. It's going to be like, it's the dumb songs that I thoroughly enjoy. So for our first story, well, please tell me they're going to call it Extreme X, but there are plans for a mega luxury resort right where, Well, my Mount Sinai, where, Moses got the tablets, because nothing says, well, religiosity like a real resort.
Do you think they'll make the resort like the Ten Commandments?
Oh, please tell me they have the plague houses, like it's Locust House and
Oh yeah, that's what
Boyle's
I was
house.
thinking. Parting of the Red Sea. It's where they.
You know what's sad is they actually did sort of a joke of this on For Richer or For Poorer, the Tim Allen, Kirstie Alley
Oh yeah.
comedy where he was like, "The Holy Land, the amusement park in Jerusalem." And I was like, this is the Matrix is broken. Well,
Oh,
they view it as a plague in Egypt. For centuries, Mount Sinai has been a mecca for worshippers and tourists hoping to experience traditional Bedouin culture and visit sacred holy sites, revered among Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. Just all the Abrahamic. I don't know how Hindus feel about it, but they haven't really chimed in yet.
not enough arms.
No blue paint. Judson Welcher is pissed off. He's like, "How dare you? I was doing something with that." Now, dubbed the Great Transfiguration Project, possibly not what you want to name that. Uh, the
No.
state-sponsored tourism campaign aims to erect 5 hotels and hundreds of villas, a 1.4-acre visitor center, and a shopping complex. Worship Jesus, buy knickknacks.
I just want to see the Jesus with the
Buddy Christ.
the Buddy Christ.
I know this is gonna be shocking, but I don't think this is gonna work out very well. When we get all the Abrahamic religions together, it brings peace and unity to the area, as always.
Well, and they're saying it's going to be done in 2026. That's pretty bold.
That's a bold strategy. Be sure not to add lightning rods, or perhaps add more lightning rods, because I don't know, this seems a bit sacrilegious.
Yeah, just a little bit.
The your monumental undertaking, which is slated for a 2026 completion, is being billed by the Egyptian government as a gift to the entire world in all religions. Again, Buddhists haven't been really, quite vocal about what they want to do with Mount Sinai.
Uh,
Now, cultural preservationists disagree. I call it the Great Disfiguration Project, said John Grainer, a former manager of the European Union. Well, okay, but you represent the European Union, who has done more to degrade, civilizations than anyone else. So I feel like pot, kettle, or glass houses apply here.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Locals fear that development could cause irreparable damage to world-renowned landmarks described as in both the Bible and Quran, as the site of multiple, monumental or monumentous events. I can speak. I've got the headset. Welcome to your secure or your tech, advice. I feel like I should be doing I feel like I should be doing crank calls.
I do love it that he's got the one-stop soul shop all-star.
It's just, I don't think this is gonna work. I could be wrong.
Are we in the book of Revelations?
I
No.
ask that every single day. I really do.
Oh. Oh.
Only sometimes, Captain.
English, you speak.
Well, but that's also the thing, because Mr. Mo and I could be having that conversation, and because he uses real tech terms and I use like the butthole plug of the computer, I can see how the communication could be different. Well, there you go. Well, as Tim Allen said in For Richer or Poorer, we have Tora, 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 the ride, and for the Japanese tourist, Tora, 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 the Tora. So there you go. I look forward to not visiting this until Disney takes it over.
Oh, then it'll be really transfigured.
Yeah. It'll be something. I
Oh,
like that next to this whole idea of, changing Mount Sinai, we have this demonic figure that's testing your IQ.
I know, isn't it? It's just
It's so
like,
apropos.
oh, well, locals fear that development will cause irreparable damage to the world-renowned landmark, the St. Catherine's Cathedral, the oldest. Wait till they find out she's. Oh no, really? Are you serious? But this was where Moses received the Ten Commandments and where he communed with the burning bush.
Let's see. Patrick W., thank you for the super chat. Exodus Resort Amusement Park and Camping Ground now accepting a AAA discounts on our 40-year membership, or try a 40-day and 40-night package. Oh my God, if this doesn't become reality, I don't want to live in this matrix.
Oh,
Because
oh,
I could get used to the 40-day 40-night tour guide.
oh my gosh! What in the hell? They're called the Jebediah tribe. Oh, it's Jebediah. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say the Jeb Bush tribe.
No, I thought it said Jebediah tribe. I was like, what are they? They walk around. Hey, Jebediah, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good, Jebediah.
They're the lost tribe of Appalachian Hebrews. It's a very secret sect. We don't tell. It's like, shalom, y'all, and shalom be upon you. Is that halal or is that kosher? We just keep everything kosher here, sweetheart.
We ain't got no kosher, but do have some dill.
Pretty much.
Dill's fetching us some water from down at the creek.
Oh my God, please let Okay, I need to get because I would make the lost Appalachian Hebrew tribe. Dave Chappelle, if you would like to expand upon this, I give you free reign to use this thought.
Oh my gosh. I love this. Mo is the master of the cuff statements.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Well, the GTP has been billed as the move to promote sustainable tourism. I don't know if they spelled terrorism right. While preserving the region's heritage, experts say it's been imposed on the Bedouin against their will. The Sinai tribes people have already had their homes and tourist camps destroyed with compensation, while some were forced to exhume corpses from the local cemetery so a new parking lot could be put in. Didn't this happen? I'm pretty sure there was a movie that came out in the 80s that had sort of the same thing where they dug up the Indian burial grounds and built the whole house on top of it or something.
Yeah, I mean, I never want to invoke the name of Stephen King because I think he's a semi-okay writer, but a terrible human. That being said, maybe don't dig up bodies and put things over them. I think we've had plenty of things tell us that this is a bad damn idea, including I am going to throw out here Georgia. I think the entire state was built upon a pet cemetery, and it explains your legal your courts.
No, it's just where there was a lot of battles, and it, I mean, whenever I say battles, we're talking like Civil War battles. There's quite a bit there, and we figure there must have been an old Indian burial ground. It's somewhere around Eagle Pass, somewhere around in there, because for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what time of day, whether you're coming or you're going into Atlanta, coming in on 75. Okay. It comes to a freaking crawl. There's no reason for it whatsoever. It's not like there's more traffic than anywhere else. It just comes to a crawl. And once you get past this area, it speeds right back up. Nobody's leaving the interstate. Nobody's coming on the interstate.
I mean, it sounds like something Ghostly Mo would do. Random shenanigans, slow spots, cold spaces, stealing your socks.
It's
getting you stuck in wash machines.
Well, speaking of getting stuck in washing machines,
It is a common problem I have seen in instructional videos.
Well, the out of bounds sex toy shenanigans at the WNBA.
I
Okay.
still say we embrace the trend and we start the Dilympics.
Yeah. Well, this particular one is quite interesting because if you're a fan of women's basketball, you've noticed some weird trends this season. One that has nothing to do with the players or the stats. If you haven't been following, look at the most recent episode from earlier this month. We'll catch you up. On August 5th, the Dallas Wings and the New York Liberty were playing at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. The fans in the arena were varied from a 12-year-old girl to a 30-year-old auto body shop owner named Charles Burgess, who for some reason had come equipped with a neon green love toy dildo. Burgess was from Dayton, Ohio, and his reasons for attending the game aren't entirely clear. Regardless, it seems his enthusiasm really got the best of him. Around 8:45, Burgess pulled the sex toy out of his pants and hurled it towards the court, hitting that 12-year-old girl. Why on earth would he do such a thing? Well, there's a good deal of evidence that Burgess wasn't acting out of impulse.
This was a premeditated dilding. This
Yeah,
was not a drive-by, a heat of passion phallusing. This was a premeditated phallusing.
Yeah. Since
He had
late
like a
July.
chalkboard and red string and everything. He was like, so if I go here and the wind is from the north.
Well, did he lick it beforehand and hold it up? He's just like,
He was like,
no, you're supposed to lick your finger, you say. Why did he have this in his pants? Was he trying to impress somebody? Sorry. That's a weird place to put it, I guess. And why was it? I mean, I have questions that I really don't want to know. There's been a string of incidents which spectators have thrown sex toys, most commonly, you guessed it, neon green, dildos, onto the court or into the crowd during WNBA games across the United States. At least 7 such incidents have occurred at games in various major cities across the country. Some of these objects have landed on the court and caused delays in play, while others have struck fans, including children's in the stands.
Okay, so they were all green. Was there like a Lucky Charms promo at Pure Romance and they realized that it was inappropriate for St. Patrick's Day?
Well, Costco, you can get them, for, by the dozen. They come in multi-packs. Multi-pack? So these objects.
Oh my God, if they had that, I would so buy one just to see the cashier's face.
Well, in Phoenix, an 18-year-old, it doesn't say male or female, who attempted the stunt was tackled by a volunteer as it is a he. As he tried to leave and was later arrested, he claimed the act was a prank inspired by a trending social media challenge. In Atlanta, of course, a 23-year-old was charged with disorderly conduct, criminal trespassing, public indecency, and indecent exposure after 2 incidents at Atlanta Dream Games. Multiple incidents in Chicago, Los Angeles led game delays and ejections. Though not all resulted in arrest, Donald Trump Jr. even posted.
I thought you were going to say something else with an E.
Nope, I said ejections. Although
Sir, we're going to have to pat you down. Look, I'm a constitutional carrier. No, that's fine. We need to check you for Dillons.
Well, he also posted, Donald Trump Jr. posted a contrived image of his father and the current president doing the same. And he is the current president. Yeah,
why do they keep calling him former President Donald Trump?
There it is. There it is right there up at the top. That's clearly made to be hilarious. That is pretty funny.
Don't tell CNN that. They'll be like, in real breaking footage, we have pictures from the grassy knoll.
Yeah. Media reports and police statements indicate the motivation for throwing the toys at WNBA games is primarily driven by a social media prank trend. I thought it was something else. This trend has been linked to a group involved in promoting a cryptocurrency meme coin, which claims responsibility for orchestrating some of the incidents. The group describes good news. Player satisfaction has risen by 73%.
Okay, so what is the cryptocurrency name? Please tell me it's Dillcoin.
It might be this particular group says that it distances protests against what they call the toxic environment in the crypto world and insists they are not meant to disrespect women's athletes. Burgess, what happened in Burgess incident, according to police report, the girl experienced pain from being hit, but did not require hospitalization. No major injuries were reported. Witnesses saw the incident, and Burgess fled the scene on foot following the throw of his dildo. At that time, Burgess had not been identified as a perpetrator, and the New York Police Department immediately launched a search for the suspect. It seems like they worked harder on searching for this suspect than they did the suspect with Charlie Kirk, just saying.
Yeah, I'm glad they got the drive-by Dylan thrower. I mean,
Yeah.
however will New York crime is mission accomplished. I just see like Mayor Adams and the police standing in front of a mission accomplished banner like President Bush did. They're like, we got him, crime is done.
We got him.
You don't need to send the National Guard. We got it. We're here.
He's under control. Now, Burgess, he was on August 20th, after driving from Ohio, Burgess voluntarily surrendered himself to authorities at the 78th precinct in Brooklyn. He was formally arrested and charged with 2 counts of assault in connection with the incident. Following his arrest, Burgess pleaded not guilty, was released pending his next court date, which was scheduled for December. His attorney stated that Burgess intended to vigorously fight. Sorry, these are words you shouldn't be using in these, characterizing them as embellished and exaggerated. Well, we'll note that Burgess is the father of 6 children. According to his lawyer, has no prior criminal record, and seems pretty likely the guy had no intention of hitting anyone, let alone an innocent girl who's probably completely mortified from the publicity by now. Yeah, I'm just imagining they've got the slow motion pictures.
Yeah, I am. And look, don't be an ass. I don't know if you don't like the WNBA, this is what I don't get about people and
Yeah.
why I've always hoped that I am an alien that, got lost on an intergalactic observation mission and got stuck with you humans. But if you don't like something, if you don't approve of, don't appreciate, don't want to deal with, whatever it is, you have this amazing option to not engage in it. You can turn the channel off. You can, walk away. You don't have to engage with WNBA if you don't like it. So I never understand the people that now, granted, I say this as a total hypocrite because there are some things I hate watch religiously with a passion.
Well,
That being said, there's a different level if I went out to these people's meetups and then, decided to be a butt face.
Well, and here's the thing. I understand that, throwing giant, plastic things out on the court is not going to be a good thing. But I will tell you that this is probably the most popular that the WNBA has ever been, outside of, what was his name? Brittany Griner, that got arrested in Russia for,
Oh, yeah.
smuggling drugs in.
Well, and I think that, I mean, I'm from Indiana and Caitlin Clark is a big thing, but with her being injured, I'm not a sports ballologist. I think
I
she's
love
been
it.
injured for some reason playing the
Mhm.
sports ball.
Yeah.
That being said, even I, as a non-sportsologist, noticed how many times
Just nod. You're freezing up on us, Mo.
Yes.
Ah, yes, you are freezing up on us.
Daggone. Well,
you need to
we
go
are
back to bed. Well, Celestial Force, you don't need to go back to bed because we know. Sorry. The WNBA's increased visibility, heightened media coverage, these incidents has sparked widespread concern about the arena's safety and respect for women. They're not meant to disrespect women. No one on the court has been particularly amused by the stunts, they say the least. The LA Sparks coach Lynn Roberts called the various sex toy incidents ridiculous, stupid, dangerous. And given the fact that every single perpetrator of the sex toy throwing so far has been a man, it's all men in a sport with a lot of female fans. A lot? I don't think so. Your fan base is pretty much nil. That,
Yeah, and that's the thing, that's really sad to me because I was hoping that, with Caitlin Clark, with some of the newer, younger players, it seemed
mhm.
like they were poised to bring in a lot of people. And then we saw how everything was kind of weighted and scaled, that it was very apparent that certain people were supposed to shine and certain people were supposed to take a back seat. And I'm not knowledgeable enough in the sports ball politics to know all about how that is. So I'm not going to speak out my ass like, well, my sociology degree says that this is an inherent struggle between the power dynamics of women. I have no idea. I just do know that from an outside casual observer, it did appear like there were some shady things, and they had a star and they didn't promote her.
Right. Right. Because, because that's how they do. And, it's not, it, women are brutal to each other. I'll just say there.
We are. We are worse than you men just have no idea how brutal because y'all will get in a fight, and if it gets down to it, you'll duke it out and then be done.
Yeah.
No, women, we will hold things until, we go to heaven, and even then, when we're on a bench in heaven, we're still like, "Yeah, but you looked pretty slutty at the family reunion that one year."
Exactly. Well, and of course, you've got this one right here. Oh,
Yes, a panicked text reveal final conversation between wife and Wisconsin kayaker who faked his death to be with his European mistress before he vanished. Now, I brought you guys this story earlier this year, and I said I would bring updates. Well, it looks like there are some updates. Distraught text messages between a Wisconsin father of three who staged his death during a kayaking trip to run off with his European mistress and his wife of 22 years reveal her desperate pleas after he vanished in the middle of the night. Ryan Borgwat texted his then wife Emily that he loved her and he had snuck out of their house to watch the Northern Lights as he implemented his plan to abandon his family on August 11th, 2024. Now, according to messages released by the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office, Emily Borgwat's wife was a wife of 22 years, and she lashed out at her husband for spending so many nights away from their family and not informing her that he was leaving. So, husband may have snuck out on the lake.
that would have
That
been nice to know. I was beginning to wonder why you weren't home.
sorry.
Nothing new. It should be used. I should be used to it by now. So many nights I have no idea where you are, and it's late.
Look, babe, I'll work on communication. I was looking at the Northern Lights and they were pink, and that's my favorite color. I love you. Good night. I'll be heading back in shortly.
Where are you, babe?
Jesus, this man is such a diabolical douchebag. Now,
Yes.
the fleeing father responded that he would work on communications as he faked his own death.
Oh.
However, Emily got awoken the following morning with her husband not returning home, and she frantically texted him, called him, tried to get an answer. That did not happen. And again, look at this family he has. His wife is attractive. She looks sweet. They've got, tall children that are probably eating them at a house and home, but that's a normal thing.
I mean, and this looks like a whole family gathering. There's people here in the background. He's got. I mean, this just looks like a pretty straight up happy family.
Yeah, and all the while he's talking to some Bulgarian chick.
Oh, well.
Where
What?
are you, babe? Were some of the texts that she sent, only to be met with silence. Now, Emily reported that he was missing later that day, following her husband's kayak trip at the Great Lake, about 100 miles northwest of Milwaukee, unaware that he had orchestrated a plan to abandon her and her children, or in his children. Now, police eventually found an overturned kayak and a life jacket that belonged to the missing father, leading them to suspect that he might have drowned.
Mm.
Still, the search for his body went on for 8 weeks after the disappearance, costing more than $50,000 and resulting in the local community spending countless hours and resources just trying to find him. Now, after 54 days of searching, investigators discovered that Bogart had been chatting. Oh, I'm sorry, it was an Uzbekistani woman
Woman.
online and had faked his own death to be with her. Now, Canadian authorities flagged his name on the day he was reported missing, according to police. He had also opened a new bank account, moved monies overseas, wiped his computer, and taken out a $375,000 life insurance policy on himself just months earlier. Now,
Oh,
he rode an electric bike 70 miles overnight to Madison after staging his own death. He then took a bus from Detroit and crossed into Canada.
I'm
I mean, he
sorry.
could have lost his life in Detroit.
I'm just saying, electric bike. Could you imagine this guy electric bikes?
I'm imagining him pee-weeing it, like the Pee-wee's Playhouse song is just like in the background, going to a new life, going to a new life.
I've got an Uzbekistani woman. Oh my gosh.
Just doing like the Pee Wee Herman dance. Like, I imagine this whole thing. Now,
Oh,
he eventually then from Detroit to Canada, he flew from Toronto to Paris before finally reaching the European country of Georgia, not Shizzy's Georgia, but
no.
Europe, Georgia, where he
That
met
would-
his Uzbekistani bride. Now, investigators eventually tracked him down in November 2024 and convinced him to return to the United States. Now, the next month, where he surrendered and was charged with obstructing, the search for his own body, as you do. Now, he told investigators that his decision to start a new life came down to feeling like a failure in every aspect of his life. Well,
well, you can notch this one on your belt too.
yeah.
She failed at
Well,
this
in
one.
another streak of failureness, congratulations. You continue to do double duty.
Oh,
I'm hoping to be remembered for the better things, not all the mistakes that I've made, and I don't maybe have the best communication relationship with my wife, he said during an interrogation upon returning to the US. Those
oh.
simple things you forget in a marriage, communicating, not
His,
faking your own death, you
his
know?
wife is lovely.
Yes.
It's like it would have been a hell of a lot cheaper and a lot less problems if he would if just maybe got some marriage counseling. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that might have been a little better.
Now, the
Oh,
father of 3 told detectives that he loved his children, but feels hurt, uh, because they show little interest in sharing activities or hobbies together. I just think the inability to feel like you can talk to your wife about some of this stuff and maybe the complete hopelessness that you have in the situation that you're in. Oh, please make it about yourself, sir. I mean, what drove you to fake your own death and put your family through weeks and weeks of torment? I
yeah.
mean, they didn't wanna build Lego with you? Oh,
Oh, well, here's the thing, and I think all fathers at some point understand this. It's not about you anymore. It's is if you're and it's the same way with any parent. If
yeah.
your kids are interested in soccer and you wanted them to play baseball, well, then you need to support them in their playing of soccer and start getting into it. You need to figure that crap out. You don't go, well, they like soccer and I like baseball. I'm so disappointed. I'm just going to go to baseball games by myself. It's like, no, you give up that
No.
stuff for your kids and say, no, I'm going to show up to my kid's soccer game. I'm going to beat
Like,
every single one of them.
yeah, like my middle girl child is the most outdoor cat ever. So she is in all the things, and she's like, "Oh, I need you to sign this permission form for this, and I wanna be in charge of this," and I'm like, "Why?" That doesn't mean I don't show up for her things when I can, it just means that, it's outside of my realm of interest, doesn't mean it doesn't have merit, just means it's outside my kind of realm of things, but I try to understand.
There's dudes out there that live vicariously through their children and they get nasty at games. Maybe that's the kind of person he is. I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but I would think that, you know, if your wife isn't sharing all the same interests that you have, then you need to, you know, get on board and start sharing the interests that she has.
Well, yeah.
And you'll absolutely find that whenever you make that effort, that she's going to try to make that effort with you. And if she isn't, well, then you
Well,
need to go
yeah,
get a
and
counselor and talk about these kinds of things, not run off to Uzbekistan, you know,
yeah. Well,
ho.
not shockingly, although the shocking part to me that this didn't start a snapped episode and only led to a divorce, because this happens to me. This is a snapped episode. Emily filed for divorce 4 months after Borgwat came home, telling the court that their marriage was irrevocably broken. Now, last month, he was sentenced to 89 days in county jail after pleading no contest to obstructing an officer, the same number of days that authorities spent searching for him. He has also paid back $30,000 in restitutions. Now, he deeply regrets his action and the pain he caused his family and friends. Yeah, this isn't something you can just send a Hallmark, sorry, sorry, I was
No,
a douche.
no. I mean, speaking of douches, there was a lawsuit dismissed over a hotel bottle that contained more than expected.
Ooh.
Okay. So while water's available in a vast plethora of flavors, the horrifying variety served to a guest at a Ritz-Carlton hotel that contained semen is likely to become not going to become a popular choice, despite the confirmation that the substance in question was unknowingly imbibed by the plaintiff. A judge in California granted a summary judgment to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Half Moon Bay, California. The U.S. District Court judge, and I'm not going to try to say that long name, wrote that the plaintiffs, who filed as Jane and John Doe to avoid the ignominy attached to the story, had a remarkable lack of evidence proving the Ritz-Carlton was responsible for the water bottle's extra ingredient. Oh no, I
Okay,
was hoping they would say vodka. No,
wait, so how did this, American Pie moment happen?
this is
Is
coming. This is
okay.
not.
Well, someone was. That's why we have the entire lawsuit.
Okay, the Does had spent over 600 nights staying in Ritz-Carlton hotels and other Marriott International properties, so it was their go-to choice for a 4-day celebration of Jane's birthday in November of 2022. Unfortunately, they encountered a problem at the Half Moon Bay Hotel, which couldn't be easily handled by the Ritz-Carlton's $2,000 rule. I guess if there's an issue, they can settle up to $2,000. According to their filing, the Does had the Ritz-Carlton branded water delivered to their room. Jane later drank from one of the bottles and realized that something was amiss. Concerned that the taste and texture of the contents included
Texture.
semen.
Okay, if water has texture, no. No.
Yeah, why is this white stuff floating around in there? They alerted the Half Moon Bay management and the local police. The Ritz-Carlton eventually had the water test, which confirmed that semen was indeed present. So there's you were asking
I would
about where
rather
this.
have all the fluoride. I've been railing against fluoride, but on second thought, bring
That
on the
water,
fluoride.
that water had a little wang to it. Yamaha wants to know where that water is available. Ritz-Carlton, California. They alleged after claiming the employee accused by the couple it was not a DNA match for the sample. Did
We need to find the water wanker. All of you have to give buccal swabs.
Oh, well, and as I was reading through the story, I was like, did they test the DNA of the husband? That would have been an interesting thing, and then come to find out it was actually the husband that did that to his wife. Now, I could see that happening. Concern the taste. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean, Mr. Mo likes to tell me when I'm saying my leg is hurting that he does have the cure that fixes all that ails me. Now, Western science hasn't done a double-blind study, placebo test, but, you know, I do trust him more than Fauci. So,
Yeah,
there you go.
nobody likes chunky water. Just saying. Now, the 10 unnamed employees of the hotel with counts of the Doe sued for 10 unnamed employees of the hotel with counts of SA, intentional affliction, sexually deviant criminal activity is frequently used as stand-in for tainted water. Seeking unspecified damages.
Wait a minute. They have a serial, like, rampant wankin' water problem that we've decided a criminal code to frequently use in these situations?
No, I think it was just the filing. It's written to
Oh,
amplify it. That's all, and they just call it tainted water instead of sexually deviant criminal activity. And well, that's
okay.
what they're using.
Okay,
Saying,
I was like, "Wait a minute, do we have a wank water, like, division? Is this
well,
an
instead of
epidemic?"
calling it, semen water, because it would have just confused,
Oh my god, they
all
have
those
their own
sailors.
Navy SEAL team.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was a seal that did this. They probably don't have a well in the basement. The defendants filed a motion for summary judgment in 2025. They did so under federal civil rule procedures, pointing out that the Does claim that the crime had to have been committed by a Ritz-Carlton employee, lacked any actual evidence. They also invoked rule whatever. Well, they agree that the Does weren't witness to the bottle's journey and had no expertise concerning who, besides hotel employees, might have had access before it was delivered to their room. The final count failed because without a cause of action in tort, the spouse doesn't have a cause of action for loss of consortium or consortium. Well, John Doe may strongly disagree with the declaration. It's legally sound. It's difficult not to feel sorry for the Does who were indeed the victims of something that was sexually deviant and certainly deserve some sort of compensation. It might be too soon to suggest they owe themselves a vacation, though. I don't know if they'll be staying
Try
at
a
the
Carnival
Ritz-Carlton.
cruise.
Yeah, they may not be staying at the Ritz-Carlton much more. But in the process of finding these weird stories, I saw this one, and it's pretty funny because I normally don't pull these things up, but whenever I see them, I just laugh, and I can't zoom in any closer. But it says I stupidly used ChatGPT to write an essay instead of using myself, and the professor caught me. I am leaning towards confessing, but he says he cannot access records right now that I say I use significant AI. Should I confess or deny? And the response is hilarious. As a university professor, I'm going to give you a very unpopular response. Deny it. Make him go through the whole process. It's a real pain in the ass for the faculty if you push back, and they will usually back down. First studies show that 60% university students cheat, and yet a very small percentage are ever caught and held accountable, which is incredibly unfair. Whether or not you get caught is just random luck. Second, its so-called AI detectors are notoriously unreliable. There are already several lawsuits pending against universities that have accused students based on these detectors. My advice would be force him to submit this to a review committee and then insist that he present scientific specific evidence. And if the evidence is the culprit of the AI detector, do some research and walk in with the extensive documentation that you can find on the web about how worthless the detectors are. In other words, make their bar very, 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 very high, and you'll probably get it dropped. And stop using AI to do your work.
Just like... 1 second, I've got to go get my power cord.
Absolutely.
I'm a technologist. I'm a techling, and I forgot that I needed to keep it plugged in.
She is a techling. She's the smart techling. But we also we'll show this next one because Mo sent this one over. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love America. Good to see you still here. Y'all are on speaker. Well, that's a good thing. I'm just me. Greedy Bloke, they should have had a stiff drink. Well, something was stiff at some point, I'm imagining. Hey Heidi, that's not boba in your tea. Oh, They should definitely enjoy the Fanta, especially if it's warm, creamy bloke. You've been watching too much, Chris. You've been watching too much of that. Oh my God. I found something that I want to mock endlessly earlier, and it's hilarious. And close that, and I just want to make sure that I have everything set up for this one, because it's a good one. It's a pretty good one. What do we got? Wolfram, good to see you. Where's my water? It's coming. It's coming. Learning to cheat is a skill itself. I don't know. I mean, I've never been into the whole cheating thing. I probably would have confessed like right off the bat, like, no.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I cheat, but I would like to have a talk to auto spell correct. Now, you and I both know that I don't know the word that I'm trying to spell, and you continuing to tell me that there are no actual possible like word configurations that make sense isn't helpful to me.
No.
So if we could just agree that I don't know what I'm doing and I'm trying to incorrectly spell this in a more coherent way, just throw up something.
This story you pulled up, I saw this and I'm laughing.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, and this video right here, I've got to show this because this is hilarious. Okay, so this is Greta's boat here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Boom. Do you know what that was?
Well, didn't they claim now that it was someone smoking near flares or something like that?
No. Here's the thing. They wanted to claim that this was a drone strike. What happened is they fired a flare up in the air, and this is what happens whenever flares come back down.
You're supposed to arc it. Even I know, like, I am the most inside of insidey cats, and I know you're not supposed to, straight up.
Well, it probably caught wind and came right back at them. I mean, you're not supposed to even fire it straight up. You're supposed to fire it out, away from you, as far out as you can.
You would think.
They were being smart asses.
Well, it's the only smart they can achieve. And
this story is hilarious, Mo. I'm sorry. This is hilarious.
Okay, yeah. Engineers have unveiled bonkers prototype for a crash-proof airplane following Air India. Now, wouldn't we have started making crash-proof planes like at the infancy of aviation? It's taken us to 2025 to finally think, you know what? Those airplanes, could we make one that doesn't crash?
It's you would think that, whenever you're putting something up in the air that's traveling at high rates of speed, things are going to happen. I'm not saying it's always going to happen. This is why, maybe instead of like having, a crash proof plane, how about better training on your on your pilots and everybody else that's involved in these kinds of things? Because mechanics,
it's discriminatory and defamacious to not let people that understand that have a hard time with math like me to not fly. I mean, who wouldn't want Pilot Mo doing one of these numbers?
All I'm picturing is the 747 just like 2 feet off the ground, flying from, following the interstate system, flying from New York to California.
I'd be like, look, I need to find the CVS. Once I find the old CVS next to the old Walmart, I'll be great. Okay.
I gotta find a place to pull over. My bladder's full.
Look, I was gonna be on time, but these a-holes back in economy kept talking to me, and we just turned the plane around. I needed to teach them a lesson. You cannot disrespect me.
Mo stopped at Buc-ee's on the way.
Come out, y'all. We're gonna get some snacks. Come on now.
Come on, they can handle it.
Yeah.
We got 500 people on this plane. You can. We're bringing them business.
Call them airplane bags. In the wake of the tragic Air India crash, engineers have designed a new AI powered safety system to prevent future in flight mishaps, which you
Can I
think
say
they
this is a bad idea? This is like giving the Terminator, the ability to land your plane. Just saying.
can you imagine? Because AI is also Sunyo, so you're going to be crashing down to love at Marine Land, buckets of love.
Oh, sorry.
So this idea that they came up with seems, well, plain ridiculous. An aircraft equipped with outside airbags, but it could potentially save lives. Now, the Michelin Man-esque anti-crash concept dubbed Project Rebirth. I think it should be Afterbirth because when you see the picture of this, it's not good. This is the finalist.
Why does that look like some sort of diseased intestine?
It does. It looks like the plane got tumors. Like they tried to do a pig in the blanket, but they were really, really bad at it. Like I don't even know what they did with the croissant dough, but they
No. No. This looks like something that Baker would make.
this looks like something I would make with AI when I'd say, "Hey, I want an airplane with a safety jacket on for stupid reasons," and this is what they give me.
I'm looking. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I gotta point something out. Why is this engine blasting right back into the damn thing? I don't understand this.
Shizzy, this doesn't look safe because you wouldn't want to put a bunch of flammable, inflatable stuff next to hot engines, but who am I to be the voice of reason?
I mean, what are they making this thing out of? The skin of children? I don't understand.
It looks like a bunch of orange sections, like naked oranges.
Yeah. Hell, let's throw some naked oranges on here. It'll fall gently.
Project Rebirth is the first AI-powered crash survival system, reads the description of the pillowy protective measure on the site. Now it deploys smart airbags and with impact absorbing fluids and reverse thrust midair, turning fatal crashes into survive. So wait, it reverses the thrusters in midair, so now you can crash backwards?
No, that's what I guess this is supposed to be, the reverse thrusters.
Well, yes, but wouldn't that just push you backwards?
No, I think to keep you from falling. Like, because they're imagining this thing
Yeah.
being like, I'm imagining, just picture SpaceX, with the rocket ship. So they're hoping that, it can rocket itself down. Do you realize that those engines are freaking powerful and how hot they get?
Yeah.
So basically what you've got is these engines that are underneath it so if it drops out of the sky midair, then that's not how a plane is going to fall. It's not just going to all of a sudden stall and drop out of midair. It's usually going to be, arcing.
Yeah.
And,
So
so they basically want to turn these people into, a bunch of cooked people inside this thing as it heats up.
yeah, so there you go. It turns fatal crashes allegedly into survivable landings.
We tried this years ago with the Hindenburg. Yes, I know.
AI sensors can reportedly detect when a crash is about to happen, prompting airbags to deploy and cocoon the fuselage, evoking a giant piece of popcorn. Now, in theory, this protective padding would ensure that the landing isn't as deadly or violent, regardless of however fast the plane is going. Now, again, I failed physics, but I can tell you that, energy and velocity don't dissipate just because you add airbags.
No, you have to understand that these planes are traveling 600 miles an hour plus. Unlike birds, Skynet is real.
Let's see. Designers, engineers, Eshel Wassam and Darshan something or other of the Bralia Institute for Technology and Science Dubai campus were reportedly inspired by the tragic Air India fiasco in June. Now, the 787 Dreamliner reportedly crashed in Abinabad, look, a city,
Yabba dabba doo.
a city in India that I don't know.
No.
It is about 5 million people, so it is a very populated city. Just 30 seconds after taking off en route to London, killing all but one of the 242 people on board.
Oof.
That being said, you are still going incredibly fast. You still have, at the takeoff, you have a plane filled with jetliner fluid. So now you're adding more flammable stuff
Mhm.
to a jetliner, which I'm all for. Let's figure out how to make this not happen anymore. But the more that's coming out about this particular air crash, it was possibly, and they're indicating a possible pilot error or pilot issues with mental health.
Yeah, that's
Shizzy, why does it look like an airplane pig in a blanket?
it is. And guess what? Guess who the meat is in the pig in the blanket? It is you, dear.
Yeah, I don't see this because even if you add these airbags, you're still going to have tremendous forces acting on everything inside. So you're going to have people thrown. You would essentially need to put the people inside in some sort of gel foam where,
Which then they couldn't breathe.
well, I mean, look, you're going to have to break a couple eggs to make an omelet. I'm trying to help here and get rid of slime.
Well, it's just, I mean, maybe the whole thing fills up with, it'd be like one of, what do they call those things? Foam, like they use for, filling cracks. The whole thing just explodes into one big foam thing.
Expand-a-foam.
Yeah, and of course, then of course you have those chemicals, those nasty chemicals that smell so bad. Plus, some of it's going to leave sticky residue. So, could you imagine it would just look like a piece. Then it would look like a piece of popcorn. It would just like expand out. Just
Yeah.
this big
Now,
giant ball of foam just comes out.
the inventors added that the emotional storm after seeing the crash became hours of research and design, and rebirth is more than engineering. It's a response to grief.
Yeah, at
Yes,
least 2
but
hours of researching.
yeah. And a promise that survival can be planned. Even after failure, there can be a second chance. Well, I don't disagree with that, but I don't think, oh, for the love.
Oh my God. What kind of pregnant guppy is this?
I feel more uncomfortable watching this than I did watching Ace Ventura birth himself out of a rhino. This is not going to end well. Also, where are the wings? So you're willing to sacrifice the wings?
Well, the wings turn into these Kevlar air and foam kind of things.
Oh.
The wings are completely gone on this. Yeah, so take away the one thing that you need the most.
We'll save you from crashing. Take away your wings.
They've got an in her. Oh, no, it's an inner layer. And you can tell this was drawn up by AI because half the stuff is misspelled and
Yeah, and the non-Newtonian fluid. So if you've ever seen it's the fluid that you can kind of smack and it will make a solid layer. So sure, but then you're essentially smacking into concrete because when you put a big effort or a big force on the non-Newtonian fluid, it's just like solid state matter. Again, I should not be the voice of reason on any of this stuff because I barely know enough to be stable. But if I'm asking these questions, you'd think your engineers would have.
What is that? Well, we'll check that out here in a second. I'm sorry, I was I was following up on something. Let's see.
Shizzy's like, my own engineered patent for airplane safety is
Oh
coming
no,
out
I was
next
just
week.
looking at the chicks in bikinis. Sorry.
Oh, well, there you go. The James Bond evoking collision cushions, which are made of layered fabric, shoot out from the nose and body and tail under 2 seconds, absorbing impact and protecting the plane's body. Now, this sky high sky or straitjacket isn't the only aspect of the rebirth system. If engines work, the reverse thrust slows down the descent. If not, gas thrusters activate. This reduces the speed and stabilizes the plane by at least 8 to 20%.
Ah,
Meanwhile, impact absorbing fluids behind the walls and seat stay soft but harden on impact to reduce injuries. Uh, I don't
that
think
doesn't
that's how.
sound right.
That doesn't sound. Again, when you hit a non Newtonian fluid, it stiffens, it becomes solid. So when it's acted on with great force, that would just be like dropping on concrete. You aren't getting any of the cushioning, I would think.
Yeah, none of this sounds good at all.
Yeah. Now, a release date for this groundbreaking safety, interesting idea is unclear, but the engineers wrote that they want Rebirth to be tested and approved and used in real flights. Please don't
Well,
call it Rebirth.
here's the thing. Before you do that, try putting this on one of those little RC planes, put some little jet propulsions on there. We're talking, we need some jet fuel in these things. I mean, yeah, and then try it out without anybody inside of it. Maybe put some eggs inside of it and see
Yeah,
how many of those
do
eggs
the
break.
egg drop first. If you can pass the 8th grade egg drop, then we'll think about letting you play with a drone.
And whenever I say, in most, right, but whenever I say an egg drop, I don't mean, from standing position. I'm talking about take that egg up on top of like the I don't even think it's called the Sears Tower anymore, but on top of the Sears Tower and toss that off the Sears Tower. And if that egg can survive with your little invention without like, breaking anything, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe you can have, but until then, I refuse to acknowledge this science, and I continue to be on the "Let's make the great American road trip a thing again."
Well, fall storm, that would depend on what religion you are, because if you're Hindi, you would think that you would like, rebirth would be more of a thing. Just saying. Just like, you might come back as something else. I'll do it. What the hell?
I live on a flight path to an airport. Trust me, if I see a plane wearing an airbag, I'm going outside with my camera.
Make sure you're streaming it, not just recording it, because if that thing
Yes.
gets anywhere near you, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, I don't understand how you negate the jet fuel,
Oh,
because isn't it carried in the wings? So, and if you're protecting just the fuselage,
yeah. That means you got to drop the wings. So just imagine these big, huge. What are those things? They're pretty good sized wingspans filled with jet fuel come flaming down at you. Yeah.
well, they need to make floaties for the wings. This is obvious where the problem has come. They didn't
Ah,
add sleeves to the
they
to the air vest.
they needed floaties for the wings.
They're
Oh
like,
my
"Don't forget
gosh.
your water waders."
Oh, so it looks like, and somebody else pointed out to those here. Trump says Charlie Kirk's shooting suspect is in custody.
Ooh.
This happened about an hour ago. Well, it was updated 12 minutes ago. I think a new high degree of certainty we have him in custody. Trump said on Fox News. 3 senior law enforcement office officials later told NBC News that the suspect had been turned into police by a family member who saw the photos and were shared by the FBI.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was struck by how little this person did, if this is the same person, to disguise their identity because it was just a hat and some glasses.
Yeah, and this may not be the right person, but
Yeah.
Trump says, I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, and it could just be. And here's the thing: they might be taking this out of context. It may be that they have the person that was in that photo in custody. Doesn't necessarily mean that he said that they have the shooter in custody, because
Yeah.
it just says, I think we a high degree of certainty we have him in custody. I think we're in great shape. He's in custody. Essentially, somebody that was very close to him turned him in. The remarks came less than an hour before authorities were set to hold a news conference on their manhunt for the assassin who fatally shot Kirk on Wednesday during an outdoor event at Utah Valley University. Ahead of the press event, 3 senior law officials told NBC News that the suspect had been turned into police by a family member who saw the photos that were shared by the FBI. The president said on Fox he'd been informed of the arrest just minutes before the interview began and noted that some details are subject to change. So, but the facts are facts. We have this person we think is the person we're looking for, but they drove into the police headquarters and he's there now. Trump added, I hope he gets the death penalty. This is the problem with CNBC and a lot of news stations. I think I might have to pull up exactly what he said, because it seems like they're taking things out of context. Because he may have said, just thinking like possibility that he said something more on the lines of, if this is the person and he's found guilty, I hope he gets the death penalty, because that's just saying. I hate whenever they take things out of context. We're only hearing small parts of it. I'll see if I can find the actual press release. But yeah, I just pulled up the first thing that came up, and I don't really like CNBC for that kind of garbage.
Yeah, and we're still in the fog of war. I mean, and if we go back to looking at the Koberger stuff, there might be several people that they bring in, to look at this, because they've got a bunch of different people. I mean, it was a fairly crowded event.
Right. And they were looking at a lot of different people. It wasn't just, they've already released multiple people.
Now, I did cover this earlier this week, but it was just too fun not to cover again. A drunken raccoon's life was saved by a nurse who performed CPR after nearly drowning in moonshine, which is how I want to go if anyone's asking. Drowned in moonshine.
Sorry, I was pulling up the thing. Oh, drowned in moonshine. Yes, sorry.
This dumpster diving raccoon got trashed. When Kentucky nurse Misty Combs headed into work at Letcher County Health Department in Whitesburg, she didn't expect one of her patients that day to be a wild animal.
A drunk wild animal at that.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, she does work at the health department in Kentucky. I'm sure she's seen things. She has seen some things, okay?
Yeah.
I've had some pretty crazy days, but never this crazy.
There's
Combs and her coworker reportedly heard a ruckus happening near the dumpster in the parking lot and noticed a panicked raccoon attempting to rescue her 2 babies trapped inside.
Puppies.
Now, our health department is right next to Kentucky Mist Moonshine, a distillery, and they'd put some of their fermented peaches in their dumpster. I guess the baby raccoons had gotten into the dumpster and they were stuck. I mean,
or drunk.
Moonshine peaches. I mean, if there's any way to get me to a dumpster, it's moonshine peaches. The RN's motherly instinct kicked in, and she knew she had to get those babies out of the dumpster. I saw that mama, and she was trying so hard to get her babies back, but she didn't know what to do. So she grabbed a shovel and scooped up the first baby, who ran to its mom. But the second raccoon was face down at the bottom of the dumpster, which was filled with both water and the moonshine peaches. Now she grabbed the raccoon by the tail and then pulled it to safety, realizing it was unresponsive. Everyone around me was like, it's dead, it's not breathing, it had drowned, and it was full of water. You could feel the water. So immediately I started doing CPR. In a now viral video taken by coworkers, Comb is seen performing compressions on the raccoon's chest. I think you can link to it. I don't think it has music in it.
I'll pull it up here in a bit.
Okay. Now, Combs says she has never performed CPR on a raccoon in her 21 years of nursing. So I guess that's a never have I ever win. She told Lexington 18 she did what she could to help the raccoon in that moment. The raccoon eventually started breathing, but Combs was a little reluctant. Now, the entire time I was afraid that it would come to life and eat me up. Raccoons can carry rabies, so I was actually really afraid of that. Now, before the raccoon could react poorly, Fish and Wildlife officers did respond and took the animal to a local veterinarian who administered fluids and sobered the raccoon up. And then she got to be the one that helped release the baby after he was all sober. So,
Aw.
and they named
what did they name him?
they named him Otis Campbell after the town drunk character in Andy Griffith.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So I'm so glad you chased down the story today. When fermented peaches turned a dumpster into danger.
If you just skip
Longtime
to
Lincoln
the
County nurse Misty
video part, because I'll probably have to trim this out because local news stations be a hole.
What did they do? What
Well,
do you
so
want me
I
to
think
show?
it's just the little there, right where she's
Right about
working
there.
on.
Okay.
You could feel the water in it. So, I mean, immediately I just started doing CPR on it.
Suddenly, a sign of life.
Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! The entire time I was doing it, I was sort of afraid that it would come to and eat me up. And, raccoons carry rabies, so I was afraid of that.
Fish and Wildlife responded before the town drunk turned into a mean drunk. They transported the little guy to get sobered up at the local vet.
Did you just go back to work after?
Yeah,
That's
I just
crazy.
love that it is absolutely the accent that you would assume a person would have when giving CPR to a raccoon.
Well, I do have something for the next one. It's this.
Oh, we need to do the story though.
Oh, we will.
Oh, okay.
She took a leave, never came back. March turned silent, time went black. Roommate said she'd unpacked and gone, but the kitchen floor sang a different song. But now confession, can't take it back. Voicemail screaming on a murder track. Hey, help me, the lid's on, I got you in this. Caught by your pocket was a perfect witness. Pickup truck rolling midnight light. Said she was asleep, yeah, sure, nice try. Body in a trash bin, rattling loud. Scooby-Doo woulda heard that sound. But now confession, can't take it back. Voicemail screaming on a murder track. Hey, help me, the lid's on, I got you in this. Caught by your pocket was a perfect witness. Bridge and Bowie, body's gone. Phone in the river keeps ringing on. New car bought, abandoned fast. Smartest plan ever, no dumbest by half. But now confession, can't take it back. Voicemail screaming on a murder track. Hey, help me, the lid's on, I got you in this. Caught by your pocket was a perfect witness. He said she snapped, so we snapped too. Worst excuse in the criminal zoo. Strangled her down on the kitchen floor. Then forgot his phone was recording more. But now confession, can't take it back. Voicemail screaming on a murder track. Hey, help me, the lid's on, I got you in this. Caught by your pocket was a perfect witness. Now he waits in a cold steel cell, all because his phone rang hell. Worst criminal ever, crown him king. Got caught by his own butt dialing.
You can't not have Butt Dial Confessions. That is, in fact, the title track to the town of Canton, also.
A butt dial leads to the arrest of a woman who allegedly helped man dump flight attendant's body over a bridge.
Okay, can we discuss the Gary Busey-ness of these particular mugshots?
Which one
Like,
is Gary Busey, though?
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. They both. They, in
Both.
fact, both have distinct Gary Busey-ness / Crypt Keeper vibes. So, it's never the mugshots of the people you want to see.
No. Thanks in part to a butt dial, Texas authorities have arrested a second person in the death of a missing flight attendant whose body has yet to be recovered. Joni Thomas, 62, is facing charges of tampering with evidence. According to Fort Worth Police Department, she's accused of helping her friend, 66-year-old Dennis William Day, dump the body of Rana Nofol Solori, 47, who was reportedly missing in June. Day allegedly admitting to deleting Solori and facing a murder charge. According to the criminal complaint obtained by the local NBC affiliate, KXAS, Day called Thomas after he killed Solori. She drove her over to the pickup truck, which was reportedly used to transport the body from Fort Worth home to a Bowie, where they discarded the body. Thomas initially claimed ignorance about the incident, first claiming Day did not drive her truck. Then she admitted that he did drive the truck, but she fell asleep when he stopped to go to the bathroom. But cops uncovered evidence that allegedly proves otherwise. Namely, an apparent butt dial led to an accidental voicemail on Thomas's phone, which captured the two moving something heavy. A male voice can be heard saying, "Hey, help me, make sure the lid's on, and I got you messed up in this." Well, cops took Thomas into custody late last month and since has bonded out of jail. As Long Crime reported before, Solori's co-worker reported her missing in June, but she hadn't been seen since March. That wide gulf hour was partially explained by the victim herself taking leave of absence earlier this year, according to an arrest affidavit. The concerned co-worker said Solori left her job as a flight attendant for a minor surgery and was supposed to return by March 31st. I can zoom in a little bit there, but she never did.
Yeah.
A conversation on March 19th seemed to end abruptly right in the middle. Even the co-workers told investigators, man, their writing is horrible. Police began working the case as a missing person incident and immediately had Day on the radar, according to the affidavit. That's because the co-worker told law enforcement the pair had lived together for roughly a year. She also provided investigators with a video dated March 19th purporting to show Solori and her handgun in sight. In the video, a man's voice is heard off camera shouting. Like I said, the writing just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So, because I had to read this a couple times. So it seems like Solori and the gentleman were roommates. And there had been, because I kind of followed this previously when she was reported missing. Now, it seemed like there was some tension, and she had actually confided to some people and bought a force multiplier. So there does look like there was some tension, but not enough to kind of really spark anything other than she was just like, I'm going to carry this. But then, it seems like he then took her life and then needed help putting her into a tote and then dumping her body.
Oh, so it was a tote that they put her in. Okay. Because,
Well,
I'm very...
well, that's what I'm assuming just based on the lid comment, because I'm thinking of things that have lids that are kind of not
a
see-through.
55-gallon barrel, I don't know.
Yeah, but something that would have a lid that would look normal to or at least normal-ish, because it
Right.
could have also been a cooler or something.
Yeah. I mean, a cooler, she'd be pretty small. I'm just saying.
Well,
Solori
but
had
they
not...
have the huge ones too.
Oh, I don't know. I've never tried putting a body into anything, so this is all new to me. I know that Mo thinks about these on a regular basis, how
Well,
to transport her
I had
kids.
huge coolers because I used to do a freeze and bake like small meal service. So I would
Oh,
have a
nice.
bunch of frozen things that I need to transport to various places. So I got these huge trailer. I
Sure,
mean,
Mo.
they're multi-purposed. I'm still writing them off on my taxes.
Travel receipts for the victim also showed strange state of affairs. She had not traveled on a plane for either work or pleasure since October of 2024, according to police. The supervisor, queried by investigators, said that not showing up and not calling was unlike her, having worked as a flight attendant for some 5 years prior. In May, officers showed Soluri's vehicle from Day's resident on Grantland Circle in eastern Fort Worth, according to the affidavit. Day, for his part, allegedly said the vehicle had been parked for roughly 2 months, about as long as he had not seen his roommate. The defendant also said that he moved some of her belongings into a storage shed and did not express knowledge or concern about her. As it turned out, the brand new car had been purchased about 2 weeks before it was abandoned, heightening suspicions. On June 10th, during a welfare check, Day described Soluri as a longtime friend. The defendant allegedly confirmed that she was living with him, but insisted he had not seen or heard from her for 3 months. On June 18th, police executed a search warrant on her cell phone. She last made a call on March 21st at 3:43. Finally, her cell phone pinged a tower for the last time at around 3:52. She was roughly 5 miles east of home. On June 23rd, the police met with the defendant at his residence, where he again disclaimed any knowledge or participation in don't seen her, the woman's disappearance. He also consented to a search. As a result of that authorized search, investigators obtained video surveillance footage from the night of March 21st that led to his arrest. At around 10 p.m. that night, Day can be seen dragging what appears to be a lifeless body from the home into the backyard, according to the arrest affidavit, where the clip cuts off, the police say, and does not record for several days thereafter. Once confronted with the evidence, he confessed. Maybe I
Yeah.
did see her.
Yeah, now that I'm recollecting it, good old Edgecombe style.
I might have.
Now that it's recollecting with me,
I
I
might have
do
dragged her.
remember seeing her at some point in a fashion.
Yeah, I know it was large and I was dragging something, but it's saying that Solori was recording him and had threatened to call police on him when he snapped. Then he grabbed her by the neck and went on to choke her out until she deceased. Day allegedly told police that the strangulation happened on the kitchen floor. After that, he dragged her outside, disconnected the surveillance system once he realized the telltale clue had been recorded. Later, the defendant said he loaded her body into a trash bin. So it was a trash bin, that
Yeah,
makes
like a
sense.
wheelie bin.
Yeah. The woman's remains were then dumped over a bridge in Bowie, a small town located 70 miles northwest of Fort Worth. As for her cell phone, Day allegedly said he tossed it into the river within the city limits. Day also gave investigators the location of Soluri's pew, which has since been recovered. Though the defendant traveled with police to a number of bridges near Bowie, Soluri's remains have yet to be found, so he may have just been running on a big goose chase. And he is on a $200,000 bond, which seems pretty low.
It does seem a really low, but they might be also. It might be low when it comes to bail, but high when it comes to what he can get out. What he can move around. So
Right.
I mean, at some point, 200,000 would definitely be out of the realm of possibility for Mr. Mo and I. So it could be 200K or 2 million. It's still not going to happen.
Well, yeah, that is pretty. It's still pretty bad.
Well, and maybe they'll raise it if they find the body.
That could be a possibility. A mother did sue the port of Bremerton, alleging Otter have better protections in places against wildlife attacks.
I have heard otters are a-holes.
Well, they can also be cute and lovable, adorable
They
creatures.
can.
It's not uncommon for opposing forces to battle over a piece of territory, whether it's for location, superior position, better hunting grounds, or just able to stand on it and call it your own. History is filled with turf wars. A lawsuit naming the port of Bremerton in a negligence suit may need to expand the term better to fit the situation, given that the antagonist was an otter and the attack took place on the dock at a marina. It's really more of a surf and turf war. Travis Schniffer filed a negligence lawsuit. Hey, I didn't choose the name. It's Schniffer. I'm going to call her Schniffer.
I
The
know,
port
but it just sounds like such a utterly Kahunty day
Yes, it
or
does.
name. It does. It sounds like a woman who would yell at you because her coupon's expired, but she wants you to get your manager because, you know, they're friends. And
But here's where it's crazy, because the suit stems from a 2024 attack on the marina's dock that involved her then 2-year-old child being attacked and dragged into the water by a river otter.
holy crap.
Schniffer, who resides on a okay, just
You know, don't give I cannot let the youngest, most feral learn that there are otters that want you to go play with them.
it's worse than It, the clown from It,
I
Pennywise.
know.
It's just they should name this otter Pennywise.
They
I have
should, but
balloons.
okay, now I feel bad. Yeah, I would totally sue for this. However, I'd also just start, well, it's in the UK. I guess you couldn't start packing. Please tell me they now have to put up a sign that says beware of otters.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Well, they managed to rescue her child and flee the area. So the case will explore how much control humans are expected to have over wild animals in their natural habitat to behave like, well, wild animals in their natural habitat. The lawsuit claims that the river otters had graduated from nuisances to threats and that Port of Bremerton, while aware of escalating situations, done nothing to prevent it. That's what 12-gauge shotguns are for. Otters' attacks on humans are rare but not unknown, with 6 on record in the state of Washington over the past 10 years. The North American river otter is the usual culprit, and most instances are attributed to creatures being threatened or provoked. On September 12, 2024, Sniffer and her toddler were walking on the dock of the marina after leaving their live-aboard boat. According to the lawsuit, the river otter emerged from the water, attacked the pair, biting and scratching both of them before pulling the child into water. Then when the toddler resurfaced, Sniffer was able to pull it back to the dock, suffering a bite on her arm from the otter in the process. The two then fled, allegedly being pursued by the otter.
Jesus. This otter is better at border security than the entire British military. What the
Oh my
hell?
gosh. When we're able to escape, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife responded and called the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA Wildlife Services, which began trapping the otters in the marina. One found near the attack area later tested negative for the rabies. In her lawsuit, Sniffer alleges that other tenants and staff have lodged complaints with the Port of Bremerton concerning the otters and their aggressive behavior. The otters were accused of damaging personal property, squatting in abandoned boats, defecating pretty much everywhere. River otter feces often carry powerful and unpleasant aromas. Oh, you're in Washington. Tough. Get used to it. You moved out of the city, be near the water, and this is what happens. Schniffer charges the port was aware of the threat and otters presented to the marina, but neither had them removed nor warned residents of the danger, claiming that her child is still experiencing nightmares from otters.
Well, to be fair, if a crazy otter came out and I was just in my stroller, like doing my thing, I would harbor a powerful resentment towards otters and I would become a taxidermist, but I also would still be triggered by otters.
Given that docks are actively used by boats and residents, denying the otters access would have been difficult, if not impossible. Wildlife Services response entailing lethal removal of troublesome river otters also raises important ecological concerns. Oh, save the otters.
How about we do this? Half a dozen of one, 6 of the others. We get the a-hole otter, we stuff him, and we mount him on the dock as an example to all of his little friends to not be an a-hole.
Yeah, stop being a-holes. That
And then
sounds like
it
a
also
good plan.
serves as a warning that there are mutant, terrifying otters.
Yes. Well, I mean, it is amazing, but you do have this one.
A Pennsylvania emotional support alligator, hashtag alligator lives matter, was banned from Walmart after receiving VIP treatment at restaurants. Well, see you later, alligator. A Pennsylvania man's emotional support alligator can no longer accompany her owner inside a Walmart after their recent trip to the store stunned shoppers. Alligator owner Wesley Sylvia, 60, revealed his pet. Oh, what the hell is that?
Jinoshi. Jin,
Jinoshi.
something like that. Jin Sioshi.
I
Something.
feel like I'm in that Key and Peele thing, like D-Nice, Jaqueline,
Jaqueline. Jaqueline.
Aaron. Well, whatever her name is, she was banned from Walmart.
Well, look, this is Wes. This is Wes right here. He's saying,
And
I
he
can't
has
take
a
my pet alligator
sweater.
in. Look, he's got a sweater to keep him warm.
You know what? If he had a YouTube channel, I'd watch the hell out of his adventures with his pet gator. But I too do not want him in Walmart because if my youngest feral realizes that one can have an emotional support alligator, which he calls abdigators, which I'm like, yes, that's exactly what they're called.
Yes. Oh my God.
But if he realizes that there is a possibility within the matrix that he could get an emotional support alligator, my life is done. My life as a
Yeah.
mom is infinitely harder.
Yeah. That
We've
does become difficult.
we've gone to restaurants, Sylvia told WPXI on Wednesday. We've even been to Denny's where she's a star and gets VIP treatment. The 6-foot-long reptile was photographed in at least 2 different, locations earlier this month by shocked shoppers in the store just south of Pittsburgh. Alligators' natural habitat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, youngest, most feral must never know that this is a possibility. In one photo, the 32-pound pet wore a gray dress as Silva pushed her around in the buggy. A separate photo showed Jenna Sui, Jenna Swat. We don't even know what her name is, wearing a shirt with a harness. Now, he said that the leashed reptile usually gets a warm welcome in public and that he was upset that Walmart has banned his pet after images of their shopping trip have resurfaced. Sir, you would make a great father. You can
Yes.
also have human children.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do think it's harder to do Tinder when you're like, also here's my emotional support alligator. It does narrow down the candidates just a scotch.
Just a scotch. Just a little bit.
Also the bathtub photos with you and her together in the tub.
Yeah, that's not going to go over well.
Now, Walmart did respond. The safety of our customers and associates is our highest priority. Walmart wrote in a statement to the outlet. We welcome service animals in our store, but it is unacceptable to expose members of the public to potential danger. So accordingly, alligators are not permitted in our premises.
They'll allow the cougars, but not the alligators.
Now, Walmart only welcomes service animals like dogs and miniature horses, as suggested by the Americans with Disabilities Acts, according to the retail company's website. I'll just go with the flow, Silva reacted when asked about the, Walmart ban. Now, he claimed that he hasn't experienced much pushback from the public or businesses since, he started bringing her around to everywhere he went 4 years ago. It's mostly been positive. I've really been taken aback by that. Now, he adopted the gator after his neighbor who received the animal as a gift wasn't able to take care of her anymore. Is that a wig or? Oh, no, it's the sweater. Okay.
It's the sweater with the collar. Oh, my God. Oh, no, he does have kids of his own.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. I did some research. I have kids of my own. I didn't want to put anyone in jeopardy. But after some research, I was like, you know what? I'll take her. Now, he had been taking her to local restaurants and on strolls around town for the last 3.5 years and has no plans to stop their adventures now. They just won't go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Alligators can grow up to more than 12 feet long and weigh as much as 1,000 pounds, according to the National Wildlife Federation. Uh, Pennsylvania does not have a state law against owning an alligator, according to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. So long as these animals are not released into the wild, there is no state, regulation regarding their ownership. Likewise, there is no state permit required to possess these animals. In
Mhm.
2023, a Pennsylvania Phillies fan was denied entry into Citizens Bank Park when he tried to walk through the stadiums with his own emotional support gator.
Oh, jeez. That's horrible. And poor people. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Well, I saw this one and I thought it was quite humorous. This is from PBS, believe it or not. Prosecutors inside a sunny conference room across the river from Washington, D.C., Monica Jaseweski described her unlikely path this year. It started when she received an invitation to the inauguration from her Yale Law School classmate, J.D. Vance. Less than 2 weeks later, she and more than a dozen other government lawyers who prosecuted people who stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th received another message from the new Trump administration. They were fired by email. It feels
Oh,
surreal to see my peers be in leadership of this country and experience, us as civil servants being just cast aside. She and 3 more women who left the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington this year have found their way back into public service, working again together as prosecutors in Arlington County, Virginia, not far from the district. A small group of assistant Commonwealth attorneys meets for lunch most days in the shadow of the local courthouse, bonded by the trauma of losing the jobs they loved.
oh my God. Can we stop? Look, now, and I am an overly dramatic person. In fact, I classify myself as having current dramatic syndrome, where, like, when the technology doesn't work, I catastrophize it and definitely make it into a bigger thing than me just lacking any technical skills. But losing your job is a setback, not a trauma.
Yes. I mean, especially as an attorney, if you're good at your job, you're going to get a job as an attorney. I mean, that's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's just I hate this because it really does take away. And I know we go to our spiritual leader George Carland for this, but let's keep shell shocked in very specific terms. Let's
Yes.
not diminish, what people who actually go to combat, who actually, you know, were in the crowd and saw this horrific act a couple days, you know, let's keep it for that, not like, well, my computer doesn't have a butthole, which I would totally find to be very traumatical, but even I know that's not trauma. That's just dramatic. We
Well,
need to really redefine what is drama and what is trauma.
they had this complaint, and what it was is Carolyn Jackson, another member of the group, said she had several prosecutions of Capitol rioters in progress at the time of the inauguration, and unfortunately, those cases all vanishes after the president granted clemency to every January 6th defendant on his first day of office. Yeah, so basically, you were trying people for January 6th, and he granted clemency, and now you don't have a job.
Yeah, and again, I know that we're experiencing backlogs in nearly every major city, so I am sure that if you want to go work, the problem with these
Detroit,
women
I mean,
is
Detroit.
that they wanted to work in a political fashion. They wanted to be noticed, which I get that if you are, in DC, then, recognition being aligned, it's a lot more, political than, it might be in other localities, but there are other localities. I am really, really, really tired of drama versus trauma.
I know. Well, and they complain it's a terrible time to look for a legal job. The prosecutors who had been dismissed and started work on January 6 cases on September 11th, 2023, as the Justice Department hired a wave of young attorneys to help carry out one of the largest, most complex criminal investigations in American history. It wasn't large and it wasn't complex. It was I have my opinions on this, and I will
Well,
tell
yeah,
you,
I would like to learn about what happened in Vegas if we could. I mean, it's
yeah,
only been what, a bajillion years, and we still don't know what set off the biggest mass incident, of a civilian target in our
yes,
history.
and more rounds were fired than he even could have possibly had. That's that. Why don't we do a little bit of investigation into that?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that losing your job isn't a hard thing to deal with. Look, I get it.
No,
I get that, not having that stability, but it's not like you didn't see this coming. If you were astute enough, and it does behoove you to be astute, and I would think with the political mire that is DC, you would be watching the tea leaves and watching where the wind's blowing. And if you didn't do that is not my fault. And thank you so much, Granny Smith. Thanks for the daily snark. You are welcome. Thanks for
she is the
hanging.
maker. She is the maker of apples.
Hey, I love Granny Smith apples, and we are getting into caramel apple season, and I am here for it.
Definitely. These orders. Now, you would think also, whenever you've got political, if you're working in the political arena as an attorney, okay, and you're hired on by an administration, it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on this one, you're hired by an administration, most likely you are going to lose your job when the new administration comes in. Every
Yes.
4 years, it's a possibility you're going to be looking for a new job. A lot of times that won't happen if you're doing your job as not in a not in a political realm. Does that make sense? Where
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter the politics of it if you're impartial to to
Or if
something.
your job is necessary, and because they did this hiring under the thought processes that they were going to need all these additional attorneys. Well, they didn't need them because clemency was granted. So, yes, I'm sorry. They hired you for a job that no longer exists.
Well, and it says meanwhile, U.S. Attorney Jean Guerrero has been recruiting for new prosecutors to replenish the ranks of her office. She brought in 20 lawyers from the military judge advocate general JAG Corps to fill in critical vacancies. So, I mean, they basically just did a rotation of people. This is not
Yeah, this
something
is not
normal.
new.
No.
Every administration has kind of done a, clear out.
Yeah, I mean, they should be ready for this kind of stuff. That's why whenever I saw it, I was like, do these people not understand the way that all of this works?
No, I don't think so. I think
Apparently
the answer is
not.
no.
I was looking to see if this was going to come up. It doesn't look like it is, but I'm looking for the actual video of this, but I'm not able to find anything. We just have everything that I'm seeing. The breaking news is all by like CBS and CNN, but I'm not seeing the actual press conference that they're talking about.
Yeah, I've got, because I was going to try to start doing more live streaming, and honest to goodness, I just couldn't do the Charlie Kirk one. I had everything set up, and I was like, I wasn't going to be able to stay composed. And I also know that, especially for these things, there is so much fog, right? And you're getting so many different, like what we're doing right now. It's hard to get straight answers. It's hard to.
Okay, this I do have from NBC.
Okay.
Continue without supporting. Hold on. Let me bring this up because it looks like there is information here. And do you think that they'll be a butthole? Because I don't want to get you in trouble.
They will probably be a butthole, but keep an eye out, you guys. I know that everyone and their brother is covering this, especially, being streamers. I think this all kind of touched us. I'm a peon, Shizzy. You're a bigger peon than I am.
I'm a bigger peon, but I've also had threats come at me, and
Yeah, and it
Tug
just
has had threats made to him also.
it really crystallizes, and not to bring this down, but it really crystallizes the reality of sometimes putting yourself out there. And, you know, there is that reality, sadly, now that, all of us are having to sit down and process kind of in our own way. Even small channels like me, like, I don't even half of the time think about this, but, now I'm like, "Okay, when I go out, let me make sure I know where exits and entrances are more so than usual. Just let me make sure I have a plan."
Yes. Well, and I'll go ahead and share this just so you guys have a little bit of an update on it. Probably won't play the whole thing. It's only about a minute and 2 minutes.
Okey-dokey. Yeah, and I can always clip it out.
Yeah, this is breaking news though.
And we now have more information about this suspect. We have a name to tell you, and this is according to multiple sources and our team of reporters covering federal law enforcement. Tom Winter, Mike Cosner, our colleagues. Tyler Robinson is the suspect in custody. He is from Utah. He's in custody and with state authorities in Utah, born in 2003. And so Tyler Robinson is the name that, according to multiple sources, is the suspect who is in custody. From our reporting, we understand he has been in custody for a number of hours now. And what happens with that, as Morgan was just saying, there was a point where authorities knew very little about who this person was.
Well, and from what I've been able to gather, that Tyler is this person in the photograph.
Okay.
And we don't know that he was actually the person that did this. All they're
Yeah.
saying is this is the person that was in the photograph. He is the suspect. He's being questioned. He's probably been questioned for a few hours, and we will know more as the day goes on. I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
All I know is it appears that his family members identified this person in the photograph. This is a person of interest. Does not mean that he is the person
Yeah.
that did this. So I want to reiterate, leave his family alone. Don't harass them. Don't harass him. Don't guarantee that any of what we're saying is that this is the
Yeah.
person, because he's just a suspect. And once they bring him in, because if I'm not mistaken, the day of they had two different suspects at two different points
Yes.
in time in custody, and they released them because there was nothing showing that they were involved in this. So it is very important to say, we don't know that this is the
No.
person that did this, and we'll
And
probably get something through the day.
just like the Coburger case, don't expect a lot of once they've given us kind of the initial drop of what they want to give us, don't expect a lot more information to be forthcoming. Now, this is going to spark all sorts of conspiracies, but the truth is that these investigations have to be incredibly, you know, just with the amount of they're going to have to keep it incredibly close to the vest in order to have a trial that goes through. This is so emotionally charged right now. This is so politically charged. This is so charged in every sense of the word that they can't have this leaking. I know that there was issues with someone from whoever is investigating this leaking stuff to Crowder. I mean, this is going to open up a lot of issues. I know people are mad, but if we want the justice that we can achieve on earth without violence, without bloodshed, we need to let this we need to
Okay.
let and then yeah, depending on it when we get my actual computer up, I'm probably going to end this stream and then try to get everything set up so I can cover the press conference. And Rosalind is saying, check your DMs.
Oh, I see it. Hold on. I'll let me bring this up. And so this is what was shared with me here.
Come up to the mic. So now we know that you're like a blatant narcissist that needs attention at all times to cut in line. Tell us what's so pressing that you needed to interrupt us before he could even talk.
So let's talk about the 200 people deported without due process to El Salvador. I don't know if you saw this morning, but a United States citizen was actually deported.
It was not a U.S. citizen. That's not correct.
Liar.
It's not a U.S. citizen. It
What?
was actually.
Come on.
No, it was someone that was living here. Yeah, it was not a U.S. citizen.
Hey, this guy just fucking lies. It's not.
No.
Hey, no. You wanna have a debate, but you don't.
It was
debate.
not a U.S. citizen. First of all.
You wanna have a debate, but you actually don't debate. There's nothing more ill-faith than this.
So
you're not.
we already have a mic.
Name 2 times. Name 2 times where you've changed
Show me you're losing without telling me you're losing.
What? So you're just going to lie?
Well, first of all, it's not a U.S. citizen. He was living here for a while. He was part of MS-13. Answer yes or no.
Okay.
Should members of a terrorist organization be able to stay in the United States after they've murdered and gone after American citizens?
Obviously, no.
So we have deported those people back to their country.
He's a liar.
So, okay.
He can't debate. He just
Okay,
lies.
so let's just
What,
calm
you don't
down
like
a little
freedom
bit.
of speech?
Well, I mean, you could say whatever you want if you want to make a fool of yourself, but we do have like 10-year-olds here and 11-year-olds, so can we have some decency?
Whatever.
Okay, you don't care. You're a typical leftist because you only care about yourself,
Who said I was
not
a
about the
leftist?
other people.
Who said I was a leftist?
Well, it's very clear by how you're acting. Come up to the mic.
That is him right there.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this man could have unhinged views, but he could also not be the person who pulled, that ended a life. So we have to let.
Like I said, that is the person that is arguing that is found in this picture. That, like I said, doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same person. He's just someone of interest.
Yeah. And he is very ubiquitous looking. He might have thought that he would be able to blend into the crowd, and good on the family member and I can't imagine the conflict that has to arise to know that you're sending your family member in to possibly face federal justice, but
Right.
also doing the right thing. So
Well, and there's also a possibility that this is just like I said, a person of interest doesn't necessarily mean that he's the person that did it. It's
Yeah.
a possibility that this person was there. They saw him. Something matched up. It could be the backpack, the dark clothes. It could be any number of things. But there's no guarantee that this is the actual
now
person
I will
that they're looking
say
for.
on a purely, let's say, stagecraft thing, this is the way that a lot of spies actually dress. It's not the fake mustache and anything else. It's everyone else there is going to be in some form of t-shirt, maybe a baseball cap, sunglasses. It's not going to look incredibly odd or out of anything that he's carrying a backpack.
Yeah.
So, that's why we have to be so incredibly careful to kind of do this. And then it does seem hinky to me, and this could just be tinfoil hattery, but the gentleman who turned himself in or ran towards security people saying, take me out, that kind of thing. And thank you very much, MLS. And we are redoing my desk, so I will write a tag for you in a little bit, but thank you so much. And for Mo, happy Friday, and a happy Friday to you as well.
Most definitely. Well, let's continue on and see what else they have to say. Well,
Yeah.
they might give more information.
Well, once you have an individual identified, many new doors open. Tyler Robinson will now be subject to having all of his electronics reviewed, subject to a search warrant, and that would be the typical process now, that once he's identified and in custody, authorities are able to get the court permission to execute search warrants. That could be places where he lives, seizing any phones, digital footprint, any of those things. Also checking the records for the purchase of the weapon that was used here? Can they tie that weapon to him? All of those avenues are now open to federal authorities. This is a state crime, not a federal crime on its face, meaning a murder is a state crime. They would be looking for any avenues that allow them to find some kind of federal charge, if there is one that's applicable and appropriate, to add to this case with the joint work of federal authorities and state authorities. Tyler Robinson is the suspect, according to our sources.
And there you go.
Yeah. So
That's
I
it.
will be probably heading offline or off this stream fairly quickly so I can help Mr. Mo set up the camera to try to be ready for the press conference. Also, to have my real computer back.
Yes.
But on a little bit of a serious note, do take everything that you hear as it's breaking in these situations. Not that okay, mainstream media is they definitely have a lens through which they see things, and they are trying to get a message across. So take it slow and wait for real facts for the press conferences. I know I am telling you to trust the government and government officials, which does feel wrong, but trust them a little more than the mainstream media.
So you got to jump here really shortly.
Well, Mr. Mo is like, can I just get your computer done so I can get my honey-do list down?
No problem. No problem, though.
Yes, you guys.
And
Thank you so much.
I'll probably fire up another stream here shortly, just to see what's going on. So
Yeah, I might hop on with you rather
Okay.
than making my own stream, just depending on how long the computer reassembling, because it's kind of like Avengers reassemble.
Do you think
So
we can keep this going for a little bit? I'll go ahead and get set
yeah,
up really
I can
quick.
do
This
that.
won't take me very long.
Let's see here. Oh, you guys. So in hilarious mode, I am going to put me on solo for just a minute.
Go
So
ahead.
Mo decided she was going to be a substitute teacher before she got hurt. Now, if you can imagine, I found the most awesome, fabulous dresses. This one is full of Cthulhu's. I'm trying to get closer. So it's got little Cthulhu's reading books, which I would have been the most ridiculous, redonkulous Miss Frizzle the world has ever seen. Again, imagine me in charge of the education of young people. So I have Cthulhu's, I have dragons, I have all of them, and Mr. Mo said I have to start wearing my substitute dresses, or they were going to Goodwill. So I was like, they have pockets. We're keeping those dresses.
And last stream, get this one.
I love that everyone talks to themselves when they do that, because I was like, I must be the only idiot that talks to themselves. So yeah, he's really excited, and I redinated my hair. So I was actually functional this morning, just not with technology, as per usual.
Edit. Where is it?
Yeah, I was gonna be a substitute teacher. I was like, I can mold the minds of young children. Also, I figured as a substitute, they would never check my math and spelling.
Why is this? Okay, edit. There we go. And get this one here. I will have it put
But
copy.
that being said, yes, I was going to be in charge of young minds, and then they recently reached out to me. And now, mind you, this is the school system that I pulled my boys out of, and now would never help. Like, even if there was like a Sharknado, and my mere presence could stop the Sharknado from going to the administrative building, I doubt that I would attend. So they're like, "Wait, are you still thinking about a substitute position?" And I was like, "Yeah, but with another school system."
And let's see. Got it.
There you go. I should just do private one-on-one tutoring videos. I too can be a twin flame life coach.
And that one there, and save changes, and there we go. I believe I've got it all set up, and I'll send you an invite here. But if you look, you can always redirect folks over there. And
Yeah, let me see. I was trying not to over tab myself because I
oh,
do
I
have
understand.
I have a tab addiction. Although tab was disgusting. I don't know what y'all did in the 80s, but good lord, that was a crime against humanity.
And I send it to you in the private chat, but just in case, I send it there and someone there and
Alrighty, let
someone
me
there and I'll just go ahead and jump off here. I'll get the thing
Okie
fired
dokie.
up so people can come over and join in. And what I
Sounds
can do
good.
is I can also, show some more of because we never got to the smoking gun. so
We did not, no.
we
So,
can
yeah, I will go ahead and do that. It's not pulling up for me, so guys, go over to Shizzy's channel. This could be oh, wait, no, I see it.
yeah.
Ta-da! I
There it
am, in
is.
fact, a genius.
She
Well,
is awesome.
welcome to the, semi-professional Mo learns how to use her laptop stream. And thank you guys so much for joining. I know that this week has been a hard week, and we try to give you guys some laughs, but bring you guys some of the real news. And hopefully, I will get my computer set up and hang out with Shizzy as we learn more about this and hopefully start the path to justice that we can get on this earth for this incredible act of evil. And the prudent forethought to remember that every investigation needs to go slowly so that we respect the due process of this person just like we would like the due process rights even for our enemies, which is hard because I'm full on in table flipping Jesus mode. We still need to do this because we are better.
Yes.
All right. Bye, you guys.
See you guys in a couple. Peace.